Hey, how's it going out there? Doggone Hunt coming to you on a sunny mid-March afternoon. Flowers are coming up back at the house. Got a nice house. Dad lives up there. That's his apartment up there in the back. I'll just turn around, and then there's the shop, DTM Enterprises. Hey, I'm going to talk about something I talked about last night in a meeting. I'm going to put it here, too. In the summer of 2014, I'd come off of that deal where I was just flat out, where I got caught breaking in that house. And I wonder if that was for me. And I couldn't go back to AA. I thought I had punched all the corners off my card. Not really, but I felt, my ego, my pride wouldn't let me go back. And I knew I needed that. I knew I needed to do something. I knew I was in a big pinch. And I started going. A friend of mine posted on Facebook that there was a meditation meeting going on he had like a little apartment above his garage. And so I went there. I actually went once without being able to go in and left. And then another time I went. And so I started liking that. And it actually got me back into the rooms AA, which that's a whole separate issue. But at the same time, I met a girl there who was badly burned at the same time I was. And we shared a little bit after one of those meetings about the legal troubles that we were both facing. And we were both early in our recovery and still hurting and had not had any healing go on. And so I talked to her and then we, not really friendship, but we were on a journey together where we bounced around and we run into each other here and there and we watched each other, and I saw her grow and I knew I was growing too, and things were happening and I could see in her eyes, and we were happy to see each other moving along, and it was always cool. She ended up recovering and starting her own construction business here in town, and that got pretty successful. And she went on to take her savings from that business and bought a building here in New Albany, and took a lot of hoop jumping there. Had to try a couple of times to get some buildings that would allow them to do it zoning wise, and she ended up starting a woman's recovery home, and it was a rundown house downtown New Albany, and they put it back together in her construction business and did a lot of work to it, man. They opened it up in October. She's got 11 girls staying in there right now, according to what my information tells me right now. And so, man, she's moving and shaking and doing stuff, and you can see it in her eyes. And I'd been around, and there was a day that we were cleaning out my daughter's bedroom, and I didn't know what to do with all the stuff, donated, just needed gone. And they were having some kind of fundraiser down there where they were selling stuff, and I talked to my daughter about it. We took some stuff down there and I've tried to help out, and it's cool to watch somebody recover, right, from that hopeless state of mind and body. And then Monday of this week, she had a court date, the final court date from that stuff from way back then when we met, 5 years ago or whatever, 4 years ago. 4 years ago when we met, I guess, but her charges were a little older. Paper said 5. Well, anyway, she was sentenced to 30 years in prison in Indiana for those crimes from back then. Man, that set me back on my heels. I would like to tell you, well, prior to this, I could look you in the eye. You're a newcomer coming around here. I could look you in the eye and I could tell you, you come here and work these steps and you do this and start practicing these principles in your life, and that won't happen to you. I've watched my life change. I had a similar thing where I stood in front of a judge. It was 6 to 20 years is what he told me. I spent 9 months on home incarceration. It was a year, but I got off 3 months early, and a year of probation after that. I've watched other people have just tremendous burdens lifted off of them when they started walking this walk. And I just had to say, we do fall back to, I am not in management anymore. Higher power must want her there. One thing for sure, and I've talked to her before, and then according to the reports in the paper at the court when it all happened, is that that was her feelings too. Higher power is in charge, and if this is what she ends up needing to do, that's what she needs to do. And they set up the recovery home so those girls will be fine, and there's people there to still run it. And matter of fact, I'll bet you that those 11 girls that live in there today, they just got a life lesson that they could never buy. I'll venture a guess that the majority of those girls stay clean. That's just a guess. So, you just never know how things are going to turn out, right? I get to be blessed with my story, and you know, the one other thing I said to somebody is that ultimately this is not the end of her story. It's not. What it is the turning of a page, and maybe an end of a chapter. But certainly what I know is I haven't read to the end of the book yet, so we'll see where that goes. But beautiful day, Wednesday. I'm gonna head to yoga in a minute. I've been really kicking that up, keeping my practice in gear, knocking off them pounds I put on from the nicotine stuff, and I haven't weighed myself in a little while, but I'm down 5 anyway, so I keep on doing what I'm doing, and I'll get back down to where I need to be there too. It is day 148 of no nicotine, day 1169 of no booze and no dope. I ain't keeping track of the caffeine. I've been drinking some herbal teas that have a little bit in it. From what I understand, I don't think you can get rid of it altogether, but I'm not jacked up on caffeine anymore, and that feels good. So, doggone hunt. Today, I recover with you. Out.